Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes.
They've upped their technology here. Um, so let's go back to this screen share. So I was just saying that as a little bit of the romantic side to any language, and certainly to Hebrew too, is just to enjoy learning to write things and to become a bit artistic. We've got to be artistic when we do Hebrew. It's just how it is. And I'm pointing out as a revision, these are your sof pasuk, that means the end of the sentence. So I'm ending the sentence there. This is how I've done this. This is your, you don't have to learn the technical if you want to. This is the Zakef Katon, I think it is. And these are the two dots here. This means this is what we call a bit of a disjunctive. This is the usual terminology. Disjunctive marks. In other words, you've been going along and there's a bit of a break there. So and you can see that I have put these sentences in a way that you can see the disjunctiveness of these lines. And this is your Zakef Katon. There's a little bit of a disjunction. It's not quite a comma, but a little bit of a break. And then you also have here, I didn't do this because the line was too short. This is quite a bit stronger of a disjunctive. That's your atnach. It's like that. You can see that there. And when you see that towards the end of the word, the atnach like that, you're going to know that that's going to be like a comma, and then you'll go on to the next thing. So it's a bit of a stronger disjunction. These are what you call diacritical marks, which were inserted by the Masoretes into the text as a guide for reading and for the sentence flow. There is obviously some debate about these at times where you put that, where if you put that there or you put that there, it means that you are adding some interpretation. And one of the very important, if any of you attended the Daniel seminar we did, there's one very important atnach, and that is, remember in the 69 weeks, it's the 69 weeks of Daniel chapter 7, and around there, how you divide, it's what, 1 week, and I can't remember, and 50, I can't remember the division, but some translations take things differently, and others go with the Hebrew indicators like this. So that is more of a major disjunctive sign, and these are more minor ones, and then this is your sentence full stop. All right, and things like this, things of this nature, I haven't gone into that too much. I need to learn a lot. These little marks here, and these marks there, things that you don't know. Some of these are what you call conjunctive indicators. And the conjunctive indicators mean that they would say these things should have joined together. Those little signs, you can see it's sort of open that way. It's facing open. And these conjunctive, there are a whole lot of them. I don't know enough about them, but they join things together. So this is ki nacham tani. This is wanting this to be sort of almost one speech unit, or things that go together. Of course, the the conjunctive, which is the strongest, of course, which joins words together, conjoins, the word conjunctive, is of course your makef. There we are. There's your makef. You can see the makef is the strong, it joins it together. It's a makef, I think, is a bond. I don't know what it means, a bond or a chain or something. But there you can see that's joining asher bat. It's joining these things together. But this is a minor conjunctive. These other ones are more minor underneath. And so as you get familiar with all these vowels and the points, etc., you will find that although for us, like we take this, there are a whole lot of things. If you go through the whole Bible, you'll only find about 7 or 8 maybe signs in the prose. But sometimes in the poetry, you can have about 15 different, especially in the poetry, about 15 different critical signs in the text. So these are not exact figures. I'm just giving you the proportion. I think the poetic signs, the poetic signs used are a lot more than the prose signs, which makes sense because in poetic, in the Psalms, etc., you've got a lot more alternation, intonation, a lot more emotion and feeling coming through. So they're probably trying to express that in those signs. Any questions you want to just ask on these signs that occur in here?
Paul, if you look next to that one sigol, there's just a straight line next to it.
All right, there. Okay.
Yeah.
This is that line. You can go and look it up in the book. It's called a meteg. And that means, Albert, you can see that line. It's because it's down, it's sort of separating the two sides. So it's trying to say, this is not, we're not to pronounce that together like eh. We're to pronounce that separately. So that's hayeh, like that. So when you see the meteg, it's causing a bit of a division in pronunciation. It symbolizes, you can see that there's a line between. So if you take it as a line between something, between this and between that. So it's a guide for us most of the time. Like here you have it as well. So here you have it as well. This is nicham. You see that nicham. It's although there's only, we would have to do that anyway. It's just showing you, reminding you ni, because this is a short vowel, and normally short vowels, you could think maybe, remember this doesn't take the chet doesn't take a dagesh forte. So and this hasn't lengthened, but all that it's saying, it just don't join the two consonants together in a sound. Well, so you see, with every language, there's always what you call nomenclature or jargon for the language, and that's critical language. This is like, I won't use this in a sermon to speak about the conjunctiveness of sin or something like that, but any language or any technical discipline you learn, you obviously will have jargon, language that is particularly relevant or scientific language for that discipline you're studying. So as you go into this, there's obviously a lot in here in the Hebrew, and it's helpful to be able to know, so that the squiggles and all these letters slowly will make sense. So let's go to the Hansa. This morning we're just going to go through, and Dal as well, that we are recording this. I'm not going to go into the grammar. So when we won't be having class next week, I'm going to be away. I've got a week holiday next week. So I'm away next week. We won't have class Friday. We'll begin as usual in 2 weeks' time. And then we will pick up on chapter 14 in the Hebrew grammar. So in 2 weeks' time, if you can go over some of that, of course, this is designed for self-study. So the more you sow, the more you will reap. And this is, if you can go forward with some of that. And I look forward to some of you being my teachers in Hebrew in the future, because I'm just being a little bit ahead of you. And that's what a teacher has to be. But some students, they come quite close, you know, they maybe overtake you, and that's good. I don't want my ego or anything like that. I'm not attached to that. I'm sort of a Hebrew person, and I'm really a novice. I've done a lot of this on my own over the years. I just really want to see God's word better. I've never taught Hebrew. I've taught Greek at seminary. So I'll be glad if some of you overtake me in the time to come. So let's go to this. Let's clear this, and then we'll read now. I think, Albert, you can read the first line. Just clear all. How do I do that? Oh, here we go. No. Where's the card? There we go. Clear all drawings. So, all right, this is the last. This is Ruth chapter 2, verse 13. So it's the last verse of this slide that I've got here. So let's pick up here, and maybe if Albert, you can read the first line, Marion the second line. You might as well finish then, Marion, the second line, and then Hans can do the verse 14. All right, let's go.
Vatomer de to in the 10.
Oh, you're right. This is the M, and this didn't have a little line there. So you're right. That's one vowel. M za, and this word. It's a chet.
Hen.
Yeah, chen, probably chen. M za chen.
Bij je teka.
Yes,
Arni.
Try this again. You actually know this word.
Adoni.
Adoni, there we go. Adoni.
Adoni. I first thought it's right. Ki ni me tani.
Good, yes. Nichamtani. So, Vatomer emzachen ba'enecha Adoni ki nichamtani. Something like that. Of course, if you get a rabbi come here to listen to our pronunciations, he'd probably pull out his beard.
Very close.
Yes. Anyway, as long as it makes sense to us. So this is, and she said, you haven't done this form here, and she said, so this is Ruth speaking. This is an imperfect form of the verb. You don't know that, but you need to know the word amar is to say, to speak, very important word. This is a feminine prefix. You'll learn about that in a while. And she said, I have, this is also this is also Madzar. Do you know what Madzar is at all? Have you done that, Albert? Madzar? Not sure. Any of you know what Madzar is?
No.
Something to do with my Mazda, Madzar, my Mazda car. Remember I told you, you go for a drive and you're always looking to find a place when you go driving, finding. So Madzar is to find. And she said, this is actually an I prefix. May I find something, may I find Chain. Chain. Chain is favor or grace. Lovely word, Chain. Chain, she said, may I, or I have found, or may I found favor. Albert, you know this one? Enecha. Here's your.
No, I don't know.
What is ba? You know the ba? Your preposition, which is in. Let's say that is in. And this looks like an ending, the ka. Remember your pronoun endings like that ka. That is you masculine. So let's take it that as your. This is a masculine. And ayin, you know, remember what ayin is? There's ayin. That is your eyes. And this is the plural. You can see the plural there. The plural, your eyes. So it's, and she said, may I find, or I have found something, chain, favor or grace in your eyes. Now you, and this word, Adoni.
That's probably like meneer or sir or something.
That's right. And here you have the Adoni. The E is the pronoun my Lord or my master, something like that. Let me just say an important thing here. Let's write this out. Adoni. Let's do Adonai now. Please note the following. Adoni, as you've got here with your E, your Hirek Yot, that is that's a typical that's the my. So it's my Lord. When you have the Adonai, you see there with the comments, it's treated not as a pronoun, it's actually become more technical. It's frozen in its meaning to mean a name, master or Lord. A master. I think Eugene Peterson in the message says master. Some people I know complained at that. It's watering something down, but he's trying to use a word that we might use today. Lord doesn't necessarily mean a religious word. The word master can be a king, but particularly Adonai. That's the special. That becomes. Sorry, yeah.
Afrikaans, sorry, Paul. Afrikaans does that too, because you have meneer, which is meneer, which is the may in, and it's main here.
Interesting. That actually links in with directly from the Hebrew here. My hira.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Meneer.
May hear from may hear. So when you see Adonai like this, it's with a capital M, master. It's always with a capital M or capital Lord. It's an exclusive word for Yahweh, for the God of Israel. And that's why, you know, because when you translate the divine name Lord, Yahweh, when you translate Yahweh like that, what happens when you come to the word Adonai? It's also Lord. So most translations put that in lowercase, Lord, and they say Yahweh with a capital, Lord like that. Lord, Lord. When that happens, most translations actually then say Lord God. So when you have Adoni, Adoni Yahweh in the Hebrew, most translations would translate that as Lord God. And it's because, it's because they've translated the divine name Lord, which doesn't technically mean a master, but that's, so let's go on. But so always remember Adonai with the kametz yot is, you don't translate that as a pronoun, my, that is a word for master, although it's like Manir, as Hans, it's does come from Adoni, my Lord, but it's now become frozen in a name or a title form. That's what language does. Then, so, hear this. And she said, I've now found favor in your eyes, my Lord. Ki, because, it's translated that is because, for or because. Now, because there's two becauses. We see that one there and there's another one there. So she's giving reasons why she feels she's had favor in her eyes. She's giving two reasons. Because, now this because, we have a look at this word here, nichamtani, and remember these, we have the emphasis on the N, nichamtani. We have a look at that. There's looks like an E. You see there's a suffix ending there, I, and there's also something going on here. You haven't learned everything about this yet, but let's look at the root word nacham, and that is a word for compassion, or to be favorable. How to translate, how some translations handle nicham, or comfort, compassion, or comfort, something like that. For and this is me, for comfort, sorry, let me just, nachamta. Let's take that. If you have the word nachamta, what is this ta ending you tell? If we just look at that, nicham, there you get the three root letters. Nacham is the comfort, consolation, something of that nature. Nacham, comfort. Nacham ta, and which is a ta ending. What suffix is that? What's that telling you, that word? Ta. Remember your paradigm for your verb, your perfect. That is a
second person, singular. A second person, male singular. Yes, second person. There's your ta. That's the thematic ta. Remember, the feminine is without that. The feminine is just like that. The masculine has a kametz. So that's because you, this is you, in other words, is addressing the masculine,
So she says, my Lord, for or because you have comforted. So we'll take this as a complete action. For you have comforted for you have come. It's a wonderful, lovely word, this nacham, to comfort. Like you can look it up maybe on the internet and see all the other references of this word, nacham. For you, there's the two MS. For you, because it's that. For you have comforted me. And there's the me at the end, the E, the hirek yot, as the pronoun. For you have comfort. You see, it's all in one word. I said in the beginning, there's less of the Bible in Hebrew. It's all there. It means you have comforted me. And remember, it's your perfect tense. So it's something that he has done, which looks at it as a complete idea. It's not something he will do. For you have comforted me. Marian, let's do the next line also.
Okay. Vaki dibata el live shipchaticha.
Try that again. Remember this. It's just you can improve on pronouncing that.
Shif.
Shif, yeah, shif.
Shifchaticha.
Yeah, that's a hidden there. It's actually a segol. Shifchat.
Oh, it's a E.
Yeah. All right.
Va anochi lo yay.
Yes, that's a lot of, it's an interesting one. So that's ehiye. I would like to say I'd like it to be two. That would be nice and easy. But the little line, the meteg there is saying to me, it's three syllables. Ehiye. And the last two?
Ki ahat shifchoticha.
Yeah, good. Shif. Ki achat shifchotecha. Shifchotecha. If you've got a sore throat, Hebrew is not easy. So let's clear this here. Now what's this here? Vaki. So she said, because or for you passionate me. Vahi. What's this va?
And
ki. Because, let's do that as well. And because, another reason, she's giving reasons for why has found grace. Dibarta.
something about speak, dibar.
Yes, dibar, there's your three consonants. 1, 2, 3. Dibar. And the ta.
There's also the two masculine.
Two masculine singular, because, so how should we translate? Because
you
spoke because you spoke, there's no, this here she's got a, to me, you got the pronoun, this is not this here, it's al-lave. Now what's al-lave? Because you spoke?
To the heart.
Yes, what's al?
To.
No.
No.
That's L.
Oh, that's L.
What's al? Think of al like this. Remember I said, think of that's coming down to rest on something. Al. Upon.
Upon.
Upon the heart. This is obviously an idiom way of speaking, but speaking, what would some